Nothing about the world and Apo's animal distribution is normal. You think camels belong in Asia and alpacas in South America? You are wrong. Extinction events are rarely neat, tidy assassinations by meteor strike or sudden ice age. This one was different. This was a war fought at the scale of continents. A catastrophic biological coup and Apos. Eta spanning millions of years. Imagine two vast, green ecosystems, separate universes held apart by a vast, turbulent sea. North America, a hardened veteran of global competition. South America, a secluded, evolutionary laboratory, nurturing life forms that never needed armor or cunning. For 100 million years, their architectures remained distinct. Then the Earth shifted. Tectonic plates ground against one another. A massive, slow-motion catastrophe of geological engineering. The deep crust buckled. Magma hissed, hardening into rock. A high-stakes, single-lane highway began to construct itself between the separated worlds. The Isthmus of Panama. The pressure of this event was unimaginable. A pressurized geological pipeline forced open. The connection itself was the weapon. At 2.7 million years ago, the floodgates open. The Great American Biotic Interchange, GABI, begins. A massive, relentless migration wave washes across the narrow strip of newly formed land. North America unleashes its optimized forces. The specialized corporate takeover team of predators arrives. They are calibrated for efficiency. They are designed to kill relentlessly. But the true horror was not the land bridge itself. It was the resulting war. The incoming North American fauna possessed a terrible, calibrated history. They were placental mammals, hardened by near-constant competitive pressure against Eurasian and African rivals. Their musculature, their bone density, their very nervous systems were engineered for constant threat assessment. Look at the incoming apex predators. The Procyanid dogs, the early Machairodonts, the saber-toothed architects of immediate demise. They deployed specialized hunting strategies. Pure biomass meets specialized weaponry. They do not stalk. They intercept. Contrast this with the native South American fauna. The ancient Leptopterns, the slow-moving Astrapatheres, the armored Xenarthrans, and the bizarre, flightless terror-birds. For 60 million years, their primary antagonists were other isolated lineages. Their defenses were unique, but untested against external, refined brutality. The armor plating of a glyptodont, a massive, tank-like herbivore, seems impenetrable. Its shell, a vast, bony carapace, a biological shield built layer by thick layer. You can almost visualize the physics, the sheer leverage required to breach such a defense. An incoming saber-toothed cat does not rely on brute force alone. It uses precision calibration. Its elongated maxillary teeth, the fangs, function as specialized hydraulic pistons. They drive deep, bypassing the weakest structural points of the chassis. The collision is less a bite and more a calculated, rapid perforation of internal support systems. The South American herbivores carried specialized adaptations that were, in this new context, lethal vulnerabilities. Their evolution prioritized defense against internal threats, not coordinated external assault. The North American invasion force was not simply an influx of new species. It was the deployment of superior competitive frameworks. Wolves arrived, operating in coordinated packs, a level of cooperative military strategy the isolated natives had never encountered. Bears brought sheer, overwhelming torque. The sheer mechanics of the biological exchange are brutal engineering. The land bridge becomes a bottleneck, a grinder. Millions of individuals stream across, but only the fittest architecture survives the rapid environmental shift. The incoming travelers are met with an immediate environmental filter, the Trans-Mexican Volcanic Belt. This is not passive scenery. It is an active chemical weapon. The journey north becomes a rapid, arid shockwave. Warm, moist isolation gives way to cold, dry, high-latitude competition. Visualize the internal fluid dynamics of the South American migrants. Their circulatory systems, optimized for equatorial heat, struggle against the sudden thermal shock. Their gelatinous tissues seize. Their internal temperature regulation mechanisms rupture under the stress of altitude and unfamiliar predatory gaze. Conversely, the North American fauna navigates this gradient with a known internal blueprint. Their hemoglobin structure readily adapts to oxygen thinning. Their fur density offers thermal buffering. They possess the factory settings for this global climate oscillation. The specialized weaponry of the South Americans often fails catastrophically. The massive terror birds, apex avian hunters evolved in a world without placental mammals, face carnivores whose speed and stamina are calibrated over longer, more vicious competitive timelines. The terror bird does not outrun the mammalian hunter. It lacks the necessary torque in its leg hydraulics. The flow of life is uneven. North American invaders, horses, camels, cats, bears, stream south, establishing permanent beachheads. Their success rate is vastly higher. The South American migration north becomes a sporadic, doomed trickle. Few natives successfully breach the hostile terrain of the northern continent. Megafauna like the giant sloth megalonyx make it north, but they are exceptions, not the rule. They are the outliers who happen to carry the correct operational code. The key lies in the depth of evolutionary experience. South America evolved in a protected conservatory. North America evolved in a global high-stakes arena. This exchange was not equal footing. It was a hostile technological acquisition. The sound of the interchange is not the clean snap of a single kill. It is the geological grinding of two different biological epochs colliding. It is the high-pitched whine of tectonic friction overlaying the cacophony of millions of animals attempting to cross a fragile, newly forged seam in the planet's crust. Listen to the environment itself. The sudden drop in humidity, the abrasive dust replacing soft loam. The air itself feels thin, metallic. The atmosphere shifts from a humid blanket to a sharp blade. The native megafauna, the sinew herbivores who dominated the landscape, simply cease to function within the new parameters. Their metabolic rate, their digestive architecture, all are obsolete. They are running software that the hardware of the New World rejects. We are witnessing the wholesale dismantling of a stable ecosystem. The indigenous components are discarded. The invasive, battle-hardened components slot into place. The successful ones carry the genetic signature of constant conflict. They are the survivors of a perpetual war machine spanning continents and eons. The isolation that fostered such bizarre, unique, and beautiful life in the South also ensured its fragility. It created forms of life that were inherently specialized, but not generalized enough to survive a true planetary-scale integration. They were masterpieces of closed-system engineering. They could not handle the introduction of external, optimized pathogens, nor the arrival of superior killing mechanics. The land bridge was temporary in geological terms, but its biological impact is permanent. The event wipes clean the slate of South American dominance. It resets the evolutionary clock for an entire landmass. The resulting fauna is fundamentally different. It is infused with the industrial logic of the North. The age of the Gondwanatheres is over. The age of the placental is eternal. The transition is not complete without a final, profound cost. The sheer scale of biomass moving across that thin nexus drives evolutionary trauma deep into the genetic structure of the survivors. It is a scar etched onto the very definition of what it means to be a mammal on this hemisphere. A deep, systemic rejection of past evolutionary assumptions. If the simple connection of two geographic landmasses can unleash such comprehensive, irreversible annihilation upon established life forms, what hidden ecological war are we currently losing? What fragile connection point are we currently ignoring?